That's fascism.
It's not about left or right. It's about a one-world government. This film documents who Obama works for, the lies he has told, and his real agenda. Get your copy of The Obama Deception today at Infowars.com or download it in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. The Obama Deception. The people strike back. Alex Jones here with a question. What does humidity mean to you? Most people think of hot and sticky summer days, but many people are beginning to realize that humidity can be a valuable source of pure drinking water. That's why I'd like you to visit AcolaBlue.com. Acola Blue is a state-of-the-art atmospheric water generator producing purified drinking water from the humidity in the air using reverse osmosis and a 5-stage carbon and UV light filtration system, which produces great-tasting water at an unbeatable price. Finally, drinking water that you control. I use one every day. Say goodbye to expensive water delivery services and storing 5-gallon bottles of water in your home. The Acola Blue 28 is shipped right to your home, ready to make close to 7 gallons a day, right out of the box. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call Acola Blue right now at 1-800-691-6043. That's 1-800-691-6043. Or visit Acola Blue at ECOLOBLUE.com today.
Well, Kevin Trudeau needs no introduction. And I've seen a lot of his books, read several of them, got his mega memory thing decades ago, and just found it all to be really great info. But even if it was all a bunch of baloney, he has a right to sell it, to write it, to say it. But it is because he's exposing Ritalin first and exposing the credit card companies first. I mean, first and in a big way. He's the guy everybody imitates. That's why they're going after the big daddy, the big kahuna. And that's why, even if you don't like Kevin Trudeau, most people I know love him, you need to support him, because we all hang together, as the founding fathers said, or we hang separate. Now, I'm intrigued by Bilderberg, Michael Trudeau, because Daniel Estulin, he has several people he knows in Bilderberg, people he calls attendees, not members. And I know he's not making it up, because I have some other inside sources, and I believe Danny. But he talks about how a lot of them don't like what's going on. It's about 25 people at the very top of that are steering it, but their networking is elitist. And so you're saying you know some Bilderberg Group people, but then you mentioned to me George Soros, quite a stinker there, who's bragged he's having, quote, a great crisis. So I mean, if the New World Order, this global system, from your research, as a multi-billionaire, internationally known, who does jet set around talking to all these people, who is the New World Order? Where are they going? What's their main goal? And any inside info from Bilderberg 2009?
Well, the specific goal is when you sit down with these people, and I've traveled the world with these guys, they really, I would say they're not Dr. Evil. They're not sitting there planning on wiping out the population. In a weird way, they think what they're doing is for the best for everyone, but they do categorically believe there's two classes of people on planet Earth. There's the ruling elite class, and they do believe, and Henry Ford talked about this, Andrew Carnegie at the turn of the century talked about this, and throughout history, they do believe that through genes and DNA, even Donald Trump has said it over and over again, you have to have good genes, otherwise you're not going to make any money. They believe it's genetic. And so they believe there's two classes of people, that there's a ruling class by genetics that are powerful enough and genetically designed to rule the other people that are nothing more than the worker bees. That's really what they believe. Now, I'm telling you, that's where they're at.
But now, because they have robotics, as Bill Joy, head of Sun Microsystems, said in the April 2000 issue of Wired, the future doesn't need us. The elite want to get rid of us. Now, I know with you, they're not going to come out and say, hey, we want to wipe everybody out. But I have ABC News here and Times of London, billionaire club and bid to curb overpopulation.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've been sitting on the boats off the coast of Barbados with the guys who basically said we need to get 2/3 of the dumb people off the planet. I mean, I've been in the meetings, and it wasn't in an evil way. It's a matter-of-fact kind of way that they think it's for the benefit of planet Earth and themselves.
Oh, yeah, they're committed. They've said this is bad genetics. They're passing it on. They're lazy. Here's my next question. And after you finish what you're about to say, it's just, this is so intriguing. This conversation we're having is blowing me away. And I always have done this, as a quote journalist. They say this is off record. People know I don't ever break off the record meetings. I've met with major CEOs, biggest Hollywood people there are, just huge. And they go, Alex, you try to warn them, and look, some listen, most don't. They want to be slaves. They want to die. Join us. You're smart. You're good. That's the sales pitch, is that the slaves don't want to be free. But if that was the case, they wouldn't be trying to keep you and me from reaching the people. So it's an overall fraud. But I've had them, at petty level. I'm not like a multi-billionaire like you, who's so much more successful telling the truth. But I've had them offer me millions of dollars and promise more if I'd sell out. So A, finish up with their mindset, and then B, have they tried to buy you off?
Well, they're not concerned, quite frankly, so much with spreading the word because, as you just said, their belief is no one's going to listen anyway. So who cares? It's like, you're more of an annoyance than anything, but actually they believe that what you're doing and what I'm doing is, in a way, to their benefit because we're desensitizing people to these realities.
Yes,
absolutely. And so I've been told that's why I still get invited on the yachts.
Yeah, I've been told that too, and wow, unbelievable.
But in terms of economics, I mentioned to you after the break that I was talking to George Soros. He says, we're and I know a lot of this inside information as well. We're making more money now because of the crisis than you would imagine. I mean, we had bank stocks shorted huge in the fall before they all crashed 90%. I mean, the fortune we made just shorting the bank stocks was off the charts. I mean, that was the simplest, goofiest thing in the world. When I wrote my book, Debt Cures, almost 3 years ago, I was the first guy on national TV to say, look, everyone's a moron. This consumer lending is going to explode. The housing market's going to crash. Foreclosures are going to go through the roof. And what at Bilderberg we talked about is the fact that the media is so you don't even have to do anything to the guys on CNBC or MSNBC. They're so stupid. 75% of Americans in the next 2 to 5 years are going to lose their job, get a reduction in pay, or go from full-time to part-time. The taxes
it's a designed changing our standard of living for the New World Order. Kevin, did I hear you correctly? Were you at Bilderberg?
Yeah, I was in Greece. And because I have friends who are there. Right now, by the way, you're not going to believe where I'm at. I'm in Rotterdam, Germany, which is where Bilderberg had their meeting a few years ago at the same hotel, the Sea Hotel Uberfahrt.
So you're hanging out with the Crown Prince, and you're telling me you were in a capillary sub-meeting of Bilderberg's? I know they have those. Well, I know you're not supposed to say. You're just letting me know you were in the area.
All I can say, I was in the area, and many of the people that were there and our members are, in fact, people that I converse with on a regular basis.
Now, I noticed that big palace with 3 hotels they shut down was right off the bay with all the yachts. Yeah. So I guess you were back and forth.
The yachts are great.
What about what's on them is even better, huh?
but here's the funny thing, and people listening, all people, if you know the inside scoop of things, making money is the easiest thing in the world to do. That's why guys the economic downturn doesn't affect people at the highest levels.
Exactly. Let me tell you a short story. This is an incredible interview. I met my in-laws yesterday for Memorial Day, eating lunch, and I explained to them about gold and silver trading and about the business. And I said, all you do is basically the opposite of what the mainstream media says to do. And I was telling them 6 years ago at that table, I said, buy gold and silver. Silver's at $5, gold's at $300. It's going to go up in the next 5-6 years to close to 1,000 or higher. And they go, no, we remember you telling us that, but still they won't listen. And I mean, that's what's so frustrating is that that's why it's such a joke to the elite. You can even tell the public the media is lying to them. They don't want to believe it.
No, they don't want to believe it. It's really comical. But let me give you asked earlier about the groups. Both Bilderberg, Council on Foreign Relations, and a bunch of other groups. In these circles, I would suggest to you that there are 2 factions, a small faction and a big faction. The big faction categorically believes that they are genetically superior than the rest of the population. But there is a small faction, and this faction are the ones that are feeding me information, probably Daniel Estulin information, and so forth. This small faction are people that really have come to the conclusion that no, yes,